YouTube, Awesome Writer here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something a little different. Well, sort of a little different. It's still very related to the stuff I talk about on the channel, but it's about this new Red Ranger anime that was just announced, an anime based off a manga, as they often are, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about as obviously it's within our realm, and also at the very end just talking about my thoughts on it based on what I've been discussing about a Power Rangers animated series. But let's talk about what this series is first. It's called The Red Ranger Becomes an Adventurer in Another World. The title reminds me of like some animes I've watched where they have like really long episode titles that just kind of describe the episode. It's almost like the plot summary. It's like, oh, our heroes run into some pirates and are captured and escape them, and like that's the whole title. Alright, so just for a brief description of the series, Ranger is defeated by the ultimate evil organization during a final face-off. He was sure he was about to die, but instead was reborn in a completely different world. There he becomes an adventurer to help those in need, transforms into Kizuna Red, and continues his fight for justice. Enjoy the heroic tale of a ranger protecting another world. And there's a little trailer. I'm going to show some screenshots for this. This is outside of the realm of the stuff I usually show, so I don't know if I'll get any copyright strikes, but I'll just show a couple images of or like a poster and stuff like that so you get the idea for it. But basically the trailer shows off a very like Super Sentai Toku-coded hero with the transformation device and the posing, and just you can tell by the design, which is actually really cool. I'll probably check this out. I know recently there was also that Loser Ranger series, which I have been interested in checking out. I've just been kind of focusing on watching other things in my free time, but eventually I will get to that, and maybe I'll talk about it on the channel if I watch it. I think I'll wait and see like how I like it, and if I'm really enthused about it and want to discuss it, I'll do a video about it after I watch it, but I'm not going to rush myself. But I think I will check this one out when it comes out, and possibly even review the first episode if I like it. I mean, even if I don't like it, I'll review the first episode, but if I really like it, I'll keep talking about it. But it's kind of something fun to watch, especially since, you know, we're in a little bit of a drought for stuff to talk about with Power Rangers not being around. And of course we have Sentai and Rider, but this will maybe give us an added thing to talk about, and it looks interesting. And I really like the design of the character, and I like the concept of the story, and also I like the transformation device that kind of looks like, it almost looks like the Atmon Digivices, but on a wrist device. And it's funny because like in the trailer you can hear its like Henshin voice, and it sounds cool. I actually really like that, just because you guys know I'm really tired of that annoying crackhead voice for like the changers and stuff. You know, we definitely have that mostly for Boom Boom Drew this year. We don't really have a very cool sounding one for Gav up and coming. Gotchards is cool. That's one of the few good points Gotchards get, is it's got a cool transformation voice. But I like the transformation voice for it, so I generally like the looks of it. I think I'll check it out. You know, let me know if you guys would be interested in me covering it a little bit. It comes out in January 2025, I believe, so we got a ways to go. But I thought it was interesting that this happened to pop up at a time, specifically like on the day I made a video talking about Power Rangers public perception and like how I would like to see an animated series, and I think that could do well if done right. You know, I don't think it would make it a main franchise that was like Marvel or DC or something, but I think it could gain more of an audience and a little bit more respect. And that's been something we've talked about recently and then over the course of years, about the idea of a Power Rangers animated series, how it would be received, how it would be approached. And the way I would like to see it, where I talked yesterday, was like a Voltron style, and the Voltron style of animation. But I couldn't help but think like seeing this kind of in more leaning full-on towards the anime style, wondering like if that could work, if we did like a full-on Power Rangers anime series where obviously, you know, animation and animated are the same thing, they're both cartoons, but you know what I mean, like leaning more towards that anime style and sort of allowing and leaning more into the Sentai-esque elements, like the weird stuff, like the posing and the shouting out of the names. You know, that's something that watching in this, it's like, makes me realize that as time has gone on, I kind of think the posing roll call stuff is kind of stupid, but I think the anime could be a better format for that, for a couple reasons. If we did like a Power Rangers anime, I think there's a couple reasons why it could potentially gain that audience I was talking about. Like, I don't think it would become all of a sudden mainstream or as big as Transformers or Turtles, but I think it could possibly gain a little bit more of a wider audience and a little bit more respect. I think primarily because anime is generally more respected in nerd culture nowadays. You know, obviously you're always gonna have people making fun of people for liking certain things, and you know, there's also the super purists out there that are kind of suck the fun out of everything when they get into anime, and they get really puristy about it, and they act like, they're kind of like with Toku purists, like they act like they live there and they're like defending it from America. Like, I don't know. Anyway, but regardless, it's just more respected, and it's more well-known, especially in modern times. You know, very mainstream, especially certain tentpoles like Dragon Ball, Naruto, Attack on Titan. You know, you'll see shirts for that like at Walmart. So in general, like if you talk to someone on the street, they're probably going to know what anime is. Maybe they're even a fan, maybe they even watched something like that. Probably not going to know what Toku is. So anime's become much more of a mainstream nerd interest in general. So if you were to get a Power Rangers animated series, like an anime series, and you have it streaming on Crunchyroll or on the anime section of Hulu or Netflix quirks, there's a chance that you could have somebody watch that and actually enjoy it and see that it could be really cool. Maybe be inspired to even check out the live action version, but some people don't like the live action version. But I think that could be a chance because especially anime is more well regarded, and it's kind of like this thing that people like to check out, like, oh, I want to go check out some Japanese anime, and there happens to be a Toku related one. That could work. And I also think the second reason it could work, sort of tied to that, is I think in general, at least this is my perception, I think especially as anime has become more mainstream, people are much more accepting and willing to and starting to enjoy some of the quirkier aspects of anime and like the type of delivery. Because, you know, obviously with every culture, we have different things we find appealing and cool and funny and all that stuff. And you can tell from watching anime and Toku, there's very distinct styles of humor and approaches and, you know, stuff that they think is cool, like posing and shouting your weapon name out. You know, we do have like, here we have like superhero landings and like the hero shot, you know, like that Avengers 360 shot, but they're not shouting out Iron Man, Captain America, and, you know, Cap doesn't throw a shield and go vibranium shield, you know, so you know what I mean, like the differences in that. But I think that as people have been more exposed to anime and as they've watched more, I think they've grown to appreciate and can accept those quirks a little bit more. Like, I think weird stuff Sentai does, like the posing and stuff like, and shouting your weapon name out, or any other number of things, could be more accepted in an animated format because it does look sillier in live action and it's more prone to be made fun of. And I just feel, this is what I feel, that it's just become more accepted and well liked, those things, when you watch it in animated form. So I think that that could maybe take away a little bit of that stigma, as it would come across just as normal anime quirks you see, you know. I'm kind of the same way in a way. There's certain aspects of like the humor from anime and Toku that don't always land with me, and there's a certain line where I'll find stuff personally obnoxious just because it doesn't line up with me. But in anime, I do tend to get less annoyed. There's just something about the presentation. Even when it comes to our specialist boy loudmouth character, I'm never a fan of that type of character, whether it's Toku or anime, but I get less annoyed with it in anime typically. And, you know, even stuff like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure just kind of, you know, shatters the weird ceiling so far you just end up loving it because it's so crazy town banana pants. It must be the work of an enemy stand user. I think that could be interesting. I think if you were to do a Power Rangers animated series, like in an anime style, there's a possibility you could get people to enjoy or embrace or overlook some of the things that hold them back when they see the live action and kind of make fun of it. And, you know, you probably would think, well, why not just do Super Sentai? You know, there's multiple reasons for that. I think it's interesting. That'd be an interesting discussion, just because the Power Rangers name does carry a lot of negative stigma, whereas most people don't know what Sentai is. You know, I'm sure most people that are familiar with PR knows it comes from a Japanese show, but I'm willing to bet at least half of them don't know it's called Super Sentai or care. So maybe if you did do a Super Sentai anime, you could have them effectively embracing what would be a Power Rangers animated series without knowing it's Power Rangers. But on the other hand, PR does have that brand recognition, and if you actually were to make something, I think this would be the point of it, is you make something that actually would be perceived as cool, you could change the perception of the name. And of course, you know, having that name recognition is a little bit important, but I could see it on both sides. And hey, maybe if you did a Power Rangers anime and it actually succeeded, you could do a Power Rangers Sentai crossover story. That's something a lot of people have always wanted. It's something that I've never been interested in, but hey, it's something they could do, especially since you could get like the current cast, or you can get the cast of King Oger or other characters and just voice the characters and come in. I think that would be a cool way to do it. But what do you guys think of this anime? Are you going to check it out? Are you interested in me covering it? Do you think Power Rangers as an anime could work like this? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.